So we still have to talk before we move on to the world of the bloodline. We have to talk about the ratings at the fiasco that AEW presented last Wednesday night for Blood and Guts scored. Okay, they had every major alleged star that they have dedicated the Wednesday night television program to for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. The BBC, the Buckaroos and their pals, the Blood and Gut, the two-ring, guaranteed carnage, chaos, and vivisection match. And one would think that they would have done the largest rating that they have done in recent weeks or months for something like that. One would suppose it's been built up and promoted. And also one would think that this week they would have broken their usual tradition of hemorrhaging viewers as the show goes on, because the big Blood and Guts match where they gave all the blood and guts was on last, and people should have hung around to see that, theoretically. Now, I do not know, because of the thing that I believe I mentioned earlier in this program before we did a little time traveling, and I haven't had much sleep over the last few days. I've been working on a fucking project. So you are going to enlighten me now, Brian Last, as to what the ratings were for this past Wednesday night, without me ever having any predetermined knowledge of this important bullshit that we're about to talk about.
Well, this important bullshit was AEW Dynamite Blood and Guts, July 19th. The email from WrestleNomics is Blood and Guys. I think he has a misprint here. Blood and Guts, July 19th. TBS was watched on average by 953,000 viewers.
953,000. So they did. They hopped themselves up on their blood and their guts, their plasma and their uterine samples. 100,000 people more than normal.
Well, the show opened quarter one, 8 to 8:15 p.m. Jack Perry's tryout for Breaking Bad, followed by Hook versus Jack Perry with picture-in-picture. 952,000 viewers.
Aha! So this indicates that they are going to keep and indeed possibly gain some of these people.
Well, quarter two, 8:15, 8:30 p.m., the continuation of Hook versus Perry, the Adam Cole MJF buddy video, an ad break, Don Callis and Chris Jericho captured in a restaurant by Alex Marvez, and Kayla Sparks versus Britt Baker, 915,000 viewers.
Okay, so they lost 37,000 on that because that was a great variety of not very gripping television.
Quarter three, 8:30 to 8:45 p.m., Adam Cole, MJF, and Roderick Strong's backstage angle, and the beginning of Adam Cole and MJF versus Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara with picture-in-picture, 977,000 viewers.
Woo! So hand it off to MJF and Mr. Cole for their continuing saga, and they get 62,000 back. Not even back, but their 37,000 they lost and another 25,000.
The next quarter, quarter four, 8:45 to 9 p.m., the continuation of Cole and MJF versus Garcia and Guevara, with the post-match with Chris Jericho and Garcia and Guevara. FTR, just as FTR, I don't remember what it was. Did it do a promo or whatever it was? FTR, and an ad break, 967,000 viewers, and also the high point during the scheduled 2 hours for the key demo, 464.
So they lost 10,000 at that point. That's bathroom breakage material, if that.
But again, like we've said, the Cole MJF stuff, I'm not really happy about it. However, the fans are reacting to it, and more than importantly, it's popping the youth number in terms of their viewers. But
it's MJF performing anything. At this point, I think he could, fart in their general direction and pick up viewers.
Quarter five, the big 9 o'clock hour, 9 to 9:15 p.m. The Best Friends Orange Cassidy, Chris Statlander, Darby Allin, Nick Wayne backstage angle. The Blackpool Combat
I think I managed to fast forward all the way through that.
The Blackpool Combat Club Golden Elite video, entrances, an ad break, and the beginning of Blood and Guts, the Blackpool Combat Club with Takeshita and Pac versus the Golden Elite, 957,000 viewers.
Jesus Christ, they lost 10,000 at the top of the hour for the start of the fucking end of the world? All right, that's surprising. I mean, that's still, I just called 10,000 people a bathroom breakage, but that's fluctuation in what was already going on. This is the start of, all right, nevertheless.
Well, quarter 6, the continuation of the Blood and Guts match with picture-in-picture twice. This is the high point of the 2-hour scheduled show, 980,000 viewers.
Okay, so they picked up another 23,000 there.
Quarter 7, 9:30 to 9:45 p.m. Once again, the continuation of Blood and Guts with picture-in-picture, 945,000 viewers.
Jesus Christ! Okay, maybe they're proving our point.
And finally, and there's going to be an overrun here, I tell you too, quarter 8, 9:45 to 10 p.m., the conclusion of Blood and Guts with picture-in-picture, 928,000 viewers, and the overrun from 10 to 10:03 p.m., 980,000 viewers.
But how long was the overrun?
3 minutes.
Okay, so no, you don't get the credit for 3 minutes of the 15 minutes. It's only if it goes past 7.5, right? Do you really get the credit for?
They're doing this a lot lately, though, with overruns with AEW trying to, I don't know if they're doing it to try to increase the number or whatever the reason is.
It's an artificial inflation if they're averaging 953 and factoring that in. Because no, suddenly on a declining ratings pattern over 45 minutes from quarter 6, 7, quarter 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah.
You don't suddenly get credit for a 3-minute overrun that people are tuning into the scheduled program that suddenly boosts you 52,000 for 3 minutes. No, especially since every other top of the quarter they had been fucking tuning out since that thing started. They kept the majority of their audience on this program. If you look at the top of the show to the bottom of the show, but if you take the Blood and Guts 1 hour and look at it by itself, they still, over the course of that match with those people, lost viewers. And from their high point to the finish of the main event of the most important match in the history of blah, 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 they lost 52,000 people. Still not the major percentage that they normally do, to be quite fair. And they managed to not even lose 5% or so from the start to the finish of the thing. And they got an extra 100,000 people from what they do every week. So kudos to them. But nearly the high point in the first hour came when MJF and Adam Cole got together. And the high point in the second half came, and pretty much the first goddamn 15 minutes of that cage fiasco. And as the longer it went, the more people tuned out.
What does that say to you, considering the amount of TV time that's been spent on the Elite versus Blackpool Combat Club feud that Cole and MJF, who are at this point doing comedy and just doing...
The other guys are falling in broken glass and thumbtacks and slicing their heads with razor blades, and they can't get to fucking viewership of
a dance
goddamn
contest.
Olsen and Johnson. Maybe they could come out and do Mac and Moran. It would work. It shows that they promoted this television show, this big event, this night of chaos and mayhem and comedy, and people tuned in for it, and they loved MJF and Adam Cole, and they were kind of hanging around to wait to see the blood and guts thing. And as the blood and guts thing went on and on and on, people got less and less interested instead of more and more. Wasn't it? Forgive me if I'm wrong, but last week, over the course of an hour on Saturday night, didn't FTR and Gin and Juice actually pick up people interested in what was going on when they heard about it?
Yes, they did.
Well, this was the opposite effect. Because as we all know from going to grade school, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. They put on a good match and people tuned in. They put on a stinky match and people said, fuck it, and started tuning out.